Hi, Carl here for ProAV TV, and today we're taking a look at the 5 main reasons that our customers end up choosing the JVC LS300. So a big advantage for most customers is of course the price. I mean, JVC have always been pretty competitive with their price points, and the LS300 is no exception. And nowadays it pretty much sits right down at the entry-level price point for video-centric designed large sensor cameras. So obviously you've got DSLRs and mirrorless cameras, which are slightly more affordable, but in terms of a camera that is designed around video ergonomics with a large sensor and interchangeable lenses, you've really only got this, the Canon C100 Mark II, and the Blackmagic Ursa Mini 4K. So that's the older 4K sensor, not the 4.6K one. And I think there's a lot of things, advantages to picking up the JVC in that price range. I mean, the Blackmagic is obviously a more cinema-orientated camera. It's not as good in low light as this one is, and it's got a very different form factor, so you're probably easy to choose between them just based on the form factor alone and which style is right for you. And then versus the Canon's 1080p, and this is 4K. So I think the LS300 still makes a lot of sense in its price category. So one feature I've always really liked on the LS300 has been the image quality. I mean, it really is surprisingly good. You get a super 35mm 4K CMOS sensor inside with 12 stops dynamic range and a base ISO of 400. And it's pretty much the best image quality that JVC's offered to date. Now, the monitoring options on here still leave a little bit to be desired. They're the same LCD screen and the same EVF that's on some of their camcorders, and they just don't do the image quality justice. So don't go off of what you see on the LCD screen that's attached to the camera. You've really got to put those files onto a computer, how the audience is going to see them, to judge them properly. And they are really quite impressive, by far the best thing that JVC have offered to date. And if you want to pair it with an Atmos recorder, you're going to get even better files. You're going to get far better monitoring, and you're going to get 422 color sampling, 4K up to 60 frames a second out over the HDMI file onto your Atmos recorder with a lovely 7-inch screen, or a 5-inch screen if you choose the new Atmos Ninja 5. You're going to get better files in ProRes files, better monitoring options. That's a really, really nice solution for the LS300. But even if you record internally, you get SD cards with really simple .mov files, so the workflow is really, really simple, and the image quality is by far the best thing JVC have done so far, and to be honest, it competes with anything that's in the price range here. I've got no issues here on an image quality front. So there's often a bit of confusion amongst customers because of the Micro Four Thirds lens mount, but you've got to separate the lens mount from the sensor size, because this is a super 35mm sensor, which is of course much larger than a Micro Four Thirds one, but the Micro Four Thirds lens mount can actually cover much larger sensors than the Micro Four Thirds sized sensor. So the pairing of a Micro Four Thirds lens mount and a super 35mm sensor might seem on the surface a little odd, but it actually makes a lot of sense. You've got to be careful a little bit with which lenses you're choosing. Some Micro Four Thirds lenses will cover super 35, some won't. If they don't, you've got variable scan mapping in here to help you get around that. I won't go into that on too much detail here. I've got a much longer video on the LS300 which will do that. But you can use native Micro Four Thirds lenses on this camera without pretty much any problem. And of course you can adapt. You can adapt with the Metabones to go to Canon EF or PL or Nikon F or a couple of others as well. So the Micro Four Thirds lens mount is actually really flexible. You get a lot more flexibility with it than if they put a Canon EF one on natively, for example. So it's really, really nice. A lot of people really like that they can use their existing glass, or they can use old sort of ones which they might have and want to repurpose, or they can use much more affordable like Canon EF lenses. There's some really affordable glass there. So people can have a lot of choice here. So one thing JVC have always been pretty good at, across, to be honest, their entire lineup of cameras, is streaming directly from the camera itself without the need for any third-party accessories. And the LS300 is no different. You get the better image quality and the large cinematic sensor, but they haven't scrimped on the ability to go straight up to live stream platforms like YouTube or Ustream, or even FTP file servers for sharing with editors and things like that. You can do all of that with this camera through this USB port. So you can connect to an Ethernet socket, or with a Wi-Fi dongle, or even if a 3G or 4G dongle if you're out and about. And then once you're connected to the internet, you connect up to the IP addresses that you need, and then you can stream directly from the camera. That little adapter is all you need. So if you're after a camera that is going to be just a single camera, really quick, really easy live stream, LS300 is a great choice. So pretty much the first thing that people notice when they look at the camera is its design. I mean, it's a very traditional camcorder design from JVC with a little flip-out screen on the side, a fixed handle here. It's designed to be used like that, or it's designed to be used with the EVF on the back. In fact, from pretty much this point here in the camera backwards, it's exactly the same body as their camcorders. It's only from the front with the ND filter wheel and the interchangeable lenses that this differs, and obviously the sensor inside. But what this means is that we get a whole load of customers who are used to working with camcorders and love that form factor, but want to step up to something with a larger sensor, better image quality, and interchangeable lenses, and the LS300 is an obvious choice. It's going to be really, really familiar for them, which goes a long way in getting good results and making that transition really easy. I would recommend using an external monitor with this though. The actual monitoring options on the camera, the LCD screen and the EVF, they're okay, they're there, and they're very convenient because they're built in. They're not great. You're not going to get a very true representation of the image quality that you're recording. If you're doing anything where you want to be judging the image more than just the framing, I really recommend having an external monitor on. You can bundle this with the Atmos recorders, which is a really nice combination, but any small LCD monitor will also work. So that was the 5 main reasons that customers of ours end up choosing the JVC LS300. If you agree with what we said, let us know in the comment section down below. And if you want to buy a camera, of course, all the links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.